having it on Zoom for our residents. Steve, our administrator, will be the host and taking care of it during the meeting. For members of the council, another item is we move into our polo shirts as of next month through Labor Day, so we no longer have to wear our suits and ties. This is all I have to report. Any questions, please feel free to ask. Next would be Financial Administration Committee, Mr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Council President. It's a good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. Apologies for my absence in the prior meetings. As they say, work got in the way of life, so I was out of town. But I'm happy to be here this evening. Just a few things. So I am at least, I think we all are eagerly waiting the results from the audit from our finance and accounting department. The big piece of information from that audit that I'm waiting for is exactly how much money we put back into surplus from last year. So we'll wait for that number. We'll see exactly how much we used versus put back. So I think we're eagerly awaiting that, but it'll be maybe another month before we get those results, if I'm not mistaken. The Finance Committee also has scheduled at least one, hopefully our first of many meetings to review non-tax revenue items, ways in which we can get creative to kind of increase revenue streams outside of the tax base. We will be meeting, I think, publicly here at our next council meeting with the new group that we have hired to manage our grant applications. We're hoping that we see a big boost in grant applications this year that will offset a number of costs, not only for our operating budget, but hopefully our capital budget. And hopefully that will help us on the budgetary front. So I look forward to that at our next meeting, and it will be on Zoom so people can participate virtually. And so, with that, Council President, that is my report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. Mr. Brennick, Fire and Police Protection Committee.
Thank you, sir. The fire department took part in the Memorial Day Parade, and I just want to take a moment to say how well that came off. It's much more than just a parade. It's a feeling. It's something that happened that enabled us to be right where we are today. Without those folks, this wouldn't be here. So it means quite a bit to me, and as well as the fire department and the members therein. Other than that, as I mentioned in the last meeting, the fire department attended a live burn class up at the academy. We also attended a confined space and mask fit drill also at the academy. And both well received and very educational. That's about all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Brennick. Public Safety Committee, Ms. Siracola Drake.
Thank you. Wellbeck was very proud to participate in the Memorial Day Parade, where they treated one patient during the conclusion of the ceremony, and they are looking forward to attending the car show on June 1st. That's all. Thank you.
Recreation and Health, Mr. Martinello.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a few notes for today. I'd also like to add my thanks to all those who participated in the parade. On Monday, it was a great day, great weather. It was awesome to see how many young kids were participating from the different recreation programs that we do sponsor. So it was awesome to see so many kids out there. Hopefully they got to learn a little bit from some of the speeches that were out there today and how all this works for them. On the recreation note, just a couple things. The baseball season is winding down for youth baseball. We've been fighting a lot of rain this year, but the fields have held up well, and we're trying to, they extended the season a little bit to provide some more playing time for the boys and girls. And they just had their Lady Warrior Day for softball, which was a great success for, we had the most girls in the program in over 15 years, I think, so it's great to see so many girls out playing now. Also, our recreation soccer program still has registration open, always a great program to see. And just remind everyone that our car show is coming up be a great day next weekend. Come out and see everyone out there and all the great cars that come around. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Martinello. Public Works Committee, the only things I have to announce is thanks to the DPW for setting up the parade, as well as doing the street sweeping prior to the parade. Did get some feedback from a gentleman, a veteran from Mawa, who stated that it was nice to see a parade here in town with a lot of attendance. He goes, he lives in Mawa, and they don't see the same level of attendance. He said the nice thing is with a small town like this, you seem to get a lot of personal interest from folks in the town, but he wanted to have that brought out. But again, thanks to the Public Works Department for taking care of that, for setting up and taking everything down. Building and Grounds, Ms. Weber.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few things. The pistol range is currently out for bid. We'll be doing a new roof and HVAC system over there. Lions Playground will be going out to bid on June 3rd. And I just wanted to say thank you to Dave Zokowski and the Boy Scouts. They did a general cleanup and planted flowers over at the library, not this past weekend, the weekend before, and it was much appreciated. And we were able to participate with the mayor this past weekend to plant some flowers here at the Borough Hall with the help of our family and the Environmental Committee. So I just want to thank everyone that was able to come out for that as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Department heads, Mr. Neal.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I'll save most of my comments for other items on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Borough Clerk, Ms. Howlands.
Thank you, Council President. Just our final reminder with regards to elections, that there's a link to the primary election sample ballot on our website, and it's also been included for several weeks now in our Friday email blast. The ballot include the new block style where candidates are grouped by their office, not by their party, so it does look very different. So voters should try to familiarize themselves with that. We also have a video on our website under elections showing you how to go through the motions of voting on the new machines. If you haven't done so, it'd be a good idea to familiarize yourself with that as well. June 3rd is the last day to apply for a mail-in ballot by mail. June 3rd through June 8th is the early voting period, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There are several locations throughout the county, but the two closest to us is the Tice Senior Center for 11 Chestnut Ridge Road in Woodcliff Lake, and the Wyckoff Public Library, the Shopmeyer Room at 200 Woodland Avenue in Wyckoff. On the agenda tonight, Resolution 2025-169, the licensees listed in that resolution have met all the state and local requirements for renewal. And also 2025-170, that's for a raffle license for the Walden Baseball Association, and they have met all their requirements for approval for this resolution for their turkey tray. Thank you.
Thank you. Confidential Assistant, Ms. Marquis.
Thank you, Council President. So Saturday was opening day for the Waldwick Pool. Thank you to all the departments that worked together to make sure that we had a smooth opening. It was not quite swimming weather, but our guards were ready to jump in. They were there. They were ready to go. They did a great job of preparing and making the grounds and the pool itself look beautiful. We're doing great on the side of registrations. We are slightly higher than where we were last year at this time. And they just keep coming in. So encourage anybody who has any questions with the new structure for this year to please feel free to call or email me. But registration's going great. Also a reminder that the swim team registration deadline is Friday, June 20th. Practices will begin on June 23rd. We've got a great head coach who's ready to take on another season here. So there's spots available. There's 3 different age categories for the children who are interested. And again, it's open to both Midland Park swimmers and Waldwick resident swimmers. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Attorney, Mr. Bossing.
Thank you, Council President. We still don't have the numbers for the PFAS settlement. Hopefully we should have them soon. They were supposed to be out by the end of May, so maybe within the next week. But at the next meeting I can report further on it. That's for the initial settlement with DuPont and 3M. The next set, BASF and Tyco, we don't have any updated information yet on those. There's also, the only other item is there's a resolution being added to the agenda that I forgot to forward over. It's for the assignment of a developer's agreement for 6 Monroe. The prior developer who has the approvals is selling the project. to another LLC. We did all the background on it, and this is like a pro forma, but under the developer's agreement that's recorded, you have to authorize the assignment of the transfer. So that'll be added on to your consent agenda this evening. But that's all. Thank you, Council President.
Will we be going into closed session?
No items for closed session.
Thank you. Clerk, please read the consent resolutions and resolutions of the governing body.
Be it resolved that the following resolutions herewith listed by consent, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Waldeck, are hereby passed and approved. 2025-165, approval of consent. 2025-166, approval of minutes, regular meeting and closed session meetings of May 13, 2025. Policy votes. A, Stephanie Rodriguez requests to use Pavilion B on June 7th from 12 to 5 for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. B, Esther Hutchinson requests to use Pavilion A on June 13th from 2 p.m. to dusk for a class party with alcoholic beverages being served. C, Nadia Sernacher requests to use Pavilion B on June 22nd from 12:30 to dusk for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages. Selena Powell's requests to use Pavilion B on June 28th from 1 to 6 p.m. for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. E, Michelle Elliott requests to use Pavilion A on August 2nd from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a family picnic with alcoholic beverages being served. And F, Waldeck Band requests to use Borough Park on Friday, August 29th for a free concert from 7 p.m. to 8:15, sponsored by the Waldeck Lions Club, with the DPW to provide chairs and turn on lights in Pavilion A. 2025-167, support the Major Richard Starr Act. 2025-168, approval of towing contracts for June 1, 2025 through May 31st, 2026. 2025-169, authorized liquor license renewals for 2025-2026. 2025-170, approval of raffle license 2025-03 for the Waldeck Baseball Association. 2025-171, appointment to the Environmental Advisory Committee. 2025-172, authorized refund of a water overpayment. 2025-173, authorized pool membership refund. 2025-174, authorizing the Borough of Waldeck's tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with Public Law 1994, Chapter 72. 2025-175, payment of vouchers. 2025-177 is authorizing assignment of the developer's agreement for the estate of DeMartini to 6 Monroe Waldwick LLC, Block 134.02, Lot 15.
Do I have a motion? Mike Ritchie, second. Mr. Brennick? Can we take a vote?
Sure. Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah Cole-Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Marnello?
I will recuse on 2025-170 for affiliation with that program. Everything else, yes.
Thank you. Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay. We need to read the ordinances.
Yes. Ordinance number 2025-12, an ordinance amending Chapter 89, Towing and Storage Regulations, Section 89-212, application for placement on emergency duty list to increase payment of licensing fee to $500.
Are there any questions on the council? Can I have a motion?
We need to, motion to open,
What's that?
you just have to open it to the,
Open to the public.
Yeah.
Any questions from the public? See
on
any
this
questions?
ordinance?
On
Not
this
seeing
ordinance?
none?
None?
Okay. Now you want a motion.
May I have a motion? Katie and Andy. Can we take a vote?
Yep. Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah Cole-Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Marnello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Reading of ordinance 2025-13.
Ordinance number 2025-13, an ordinance of the Borough of Waldeck creating the position of special law enforcement officers and setting forth the qualifications, powers, and duties of the same.
Do I have any questions from the council? Seeing none. Any questions from the public? Please come forward, state your name.
Oh, God. I'm next. All right, just a couple of questions on this. Thank you all. Good to see some of you. It's been a while. To say I've been busy is an understatement. Has there been a study made on the need for it? an actual special police officer in the schools, or has this been just something that the council and the police department has pushed? Has there been any data basically stating what the risk factors are and that can back the expenditure?
What's that? You can answer it.
Yeah, we don't have any solid data. This has been a partnership with the Board of Ed and the Police Department and the borough.
Okay, that's fair. And just, I guess...
Mayor, just will add too, this also came from the special counsel when they had people on there from the public, included in that committee that was set up by Board of Education, which they asked members from the council to sit on. So this came from the community as well as Board of Education and Police Department.
Thank you, Mr. Martinello.
They look at other communities around here, other towns that do have those, such as Midland Park and other surrounding towns. I don't think they looked at any specific data that says there's a risk or a threat, but just saying that their preparation and, you know, why would we be different than any other small town around us.
Right. It's, well, anecdotally, obviously, I have family in Parkland, right? So a young nephew who was there. And so I understand this is a highly political, but it shouldn't be, topic. The safety of our children is everyone's duty here, everyone, as a parent and as a council member and as a police officer. So I'm not pushing back at all in having a special police officer, but I do want to know, I guess from you, Mr. Ritchie, and thank you, Mr. Martinello, because that is due diligence, right? It's not just, hey, I'm just going to put a police officer out there, right? So they did do some due diligence. They looked at it. They saw the benefits and some of the pitfalls, as we've seen in some of the Eastern Bergen County towns. Financial impact. Now, I'm going to call out, because that's what I do, and it's been 4 years, so I'm going to say it. The 800-pound gorilla is that this is a nice way for someone to retire from the police force, get a nice little job after the fact, and still be on the payroll while taking the same pension. That is the reputation of certain towns that I'm aware of which do that. My question is financial impact long-term to the borough from a tax perspective.
Yeah, it's going to be real. It's going to be real. It's real dollars and cents. But it's, you know, I can say certainly. Listen, I've pushed the narrative many times that I don't think the borough has a spending problem. I think we have a revenue problem. I think we need to continue bringing in new sources of revenue. These are programs that the community wants, and I think that it would be ill-advised for us to push back on that. And certainly a committee was formed, and on a personal level, my kids don't go to school in Waldwick, but they do have the benefit of having a safety officer in their school. Yeah. And I can tell you, the peace of mind that I have every day when my kids go to school is a luxury that every person in Waldwick should have. And I do have nieces in the school, so I voted on it from that perspective, and I think we need to, we talk about it, we need to solve the financial problems, but I do firmly believe that we do that from the revenue side.
Got it. So there's work to, and I heard grants and several other programs are in place right now to start to offset some of these new expenditures.
We're going to start to work, yeah, absolutely. Yep. We're going to work together, and we're going to get creative.
Great. That's all I had. Thank you.
My question was answered.
Okay.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Martinello, Mr. Brennick, please take the roll.
Mr. Brennick? Yes. Ms. Saracola Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Clerk, please read ordinance number 25-14.
Ordinance number 2025-14, an ordinance to authorize the vacation of an easement located on block 18.04, lot 2, by the Borough of Waldwick, and extinguishing any rights that the Borough of Waldwick may have in said easement.
Are there any questions from the council?
Do you just want me to?
You can recap.
This is the easement we discussed last week behind the property on Richard Drive that was reserved back in the 40s for utility installation and maintenance. Nothing's ever been put there. We've confirmed that with all the departments and the engineer, so we're just extinguishing the rights on that property.
Any questions from the public? I see none. Clerk, motion. Mr. Martinello, Mr. Saracola. Can I vote?
Yeah. Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarcolo Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Clerk, please read ordinance number 2025-15.
Ordinance number 2025-15, and ordinance amending ordinance number 2024-05, fixing the compensation, salary, and wages of the officials and employees of the Borough of Waldwick.
Would you like to speak to this?
Thank you, Council President. Since the last meeting, the only major changes, which I noted to all of you, are we have increases here for the fire department officer position. So you see those changes reflected in the green copy that you have in front of you. Other than that, this ordinance sets all the ranges for all the positions within the borough. And just a process clarification, we need to vote to amend the ordinance to add the fire department changes, and then before we have the public hearing.
Yes, and so, just to be clear, we, myself, Mr. Brennick, and Ms. Weber can vote on this because we're not in direct...
Correct, yeah, you do not receive
Okay.
a direct financial benefit from
Yep.
those
Okay, thank
minor
you.
changes.
So we just need a motion and a second to amend to add the fire department officer position.
Mr. Brennick and Ms. Weber,
Okay, we'll do a roll call.
we can have a roll call?
Yep. Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarcolo Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Now you can open it up to the public.
Do we have any questions from the public? Can I have a motion to pass ordinance 2025-15? Motion. Mr. Brennick?
Motion.
Mr. Ritchie? Take a roll call, please.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarcolo Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Clerk, can you read Resolution 2025-176, authorized? Sorry.
Yeah, authorized salaries for 2025.
And Mr. Neal, please.
Yep, so this resolution actually just sets the rates for the specific employees now.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the council? Any questions from the public?
This is just the
It's
resolution.
a resolution.
Yeah, you're good.
We're good.
So you just need a motion.
Need a motion? Mr. Ritchie, Mr. Brennick? Like to have a roll call?
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarcolo Drake? Yes. Mr. Martello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Introduction.
Just one, yeah.
Introduction ordinances. Clerk, can you please read ordinance number 2025-16?
Ordinance number 2025-16, an ordinance to amend Section 1 entitled Establishment Membership of Chapter 20 entitled Police Department to increase the number of patrol officers from 13 patrol officers to 14. And then, so you just, this is what you said.
A motion is in order to move and pass the ordinance on first reading, and that the municipal clerk be authorized to publish the said ordinance and notice of hearing in accordance with law, with the public hearing on said ordinance to be held at 7:30 PM or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. Can I have a motion? Mr. Martello, second by Ms. Weber. Oh, sorry. Well, you handed it to me.
I know.
I'm new at this.
I know, it's okay. Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarcolo Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay,
So we go into unfinished business, correct?
correct.
Unfinished business. I have one comment that was given to me by the mayor. He asked, out of courtesy for the residents, if we could all refrain from using cell phones and texting during the meeting, out of respect for them, as well as people on the council. He wanted me to add that tonight. That's all I have under unfinished business.
Question, Council President. I use my phone to read my report from my Google Doc. Is that acceptable?
You can use the iPads that we were given. That's what most people use.
Noted, thank you.
Yep. Any other unfinished business?
I have unfinished business as well. I just had a question for Steve. I think I've asked this before, but is there any update on getting that specific tab or section on the website about the redevelopment?
Yeah, I have it pretty much built out. It's just not published yet, so I'm hoping to finalize that hopefully by tomorrow or Thursday. Then I'll send that over to you guys just to review, make sure you capture everything, and then we'll get it up.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other?
Steve, also along that same lines, I believe the next council meeting will be after primary is over, so would we be starting to look at that list that we compiled at that point for discussion?
Yes. I think
Okay.
that would be fine.
Anything else? New business. Anyone have any new business? See none? I think that's it.
Public comment.
Public comments. Anyone have anything to, please state your, yeah, come to the day, come to the.
I need my phone because it has data on it.
Well, that's, no. Is reference to the council, not to the public.
So a few questions. If I recall, last year our pride flag was stolen off of
Just state your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Catherine Hartman.
Sorry.
Our pride flag was stolen off of the fence. I quickly looked it up, and a municipality can charge up to about $1,000 in penalties for vandalism of that nature, stolen flags of municipal property. Could we maybe post like a little sign with it this year that says, you know, stolen property will be investigated and prosecuted, or a potential fine, or just something so that, you know, that doesn't hopefully happen?
Council?
Like a deterrent.
Yeah, a deterrent, thank you, yes.
Council? What do you think?
It's up to you guys. This was a one-time thing. I don't know if it's going,
It's not in a safe place per se, like I could go up and take it, but if there could be some sort of deterrent, even if it was in your proclamation, something, just,
What was that?
So I don't see a downside to that.
Yeah.
I don't see a downside with
Okay,
it. Yeah.
thank you. Where can we find this Zoom link for next meeting?
Should be posted on the agenda, correct? Steve?
Yeah, once it's all set up, we have to upgrade our plan.
Sure,
So once
sure.
we have that, it'll be set up as a webinar, just so everyone's aware. So the camera, I was testing it today. We'll be set up here, you'll be able to log in, but you'll come in as just a participant, so no
Sure.
one will be on video. You'll just be there to listen in. During the public comment portion, we ask you to raise your virtual hand. We allow you to speak, but you'll never be on camera.
And that will be somewhere on the town website?
Yeah, it'll be on the website. It'll be the same link too, reoccurring for all council meetings.
Oh, good, okay.
So we'll share that as soon as we have that info ready.
Excellent. And then I had one other question, and this is not related to something we have talked about, and I'm not trying to catch anyone off guard, so that's not my goal here. The report of the the opioid settlement funds for 2024 came out, and we still have about, as of the end of 2024 fiscal year, we had about $63,000 worth of unallocated funds. I'm a social worker. I know a lot about the opioid crisis, and I know that Narcan is a incredibly effective tool that can save lives. And I'm wondering what either new programs we can do or new interventions. I know that we're sort of currently supporting our current programs with the funds, and I agree that's very important, but I'm wondering how we can maybe enhance our interventions, our education, outreach, or potential treatment options for our community so that, nothing horrible that could be intervened upon occurs.
Go ahead.
So you are right, that's about where we're at with our funds. We have been using it to help offset some of the police
Sure.
outreach programs, things like that. It's a lot of money still. So we actually are, the plan is to allocate some of it towards the SLEOs, the specials, for some of the outfitting them, onboarding them, and some of their equipment.
The who, I'm sorry?
For the special law enforcement officers.
Oh, in the schools?
In the schools.
Oh, interesting. Okay, okay, I hadn't thought of that.
So that'll go part of it, and then we are gonna, we'll try and partner with the police on more, and there's been some discussion with the Health Commission also. They've reached out, they wanted to set up some educational programming.
Okay,
so
great.
we are gonna work with them also.
Great, okay, that's really good to hear. Just another push for providing Narcan for anyone interested, maybe at a central location where they could come pick it up. I've seen it used on the street, and it really is miraculous. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Theodore Sanzo. Just a simple request. In the future, I noticed at the library and around town, flags at half-mast. Is there a chance that on the weekly blast, we could be notified who it's in deference to? So, I mean, you've had, I know it's done in the past with firemen and things like that, and I think it would just be a good idea if you let the community know. I'd appreciate it, even if it's
we
after
know.
the fact.
If we know, we can do that. They come at random times, it may not coincide with when the blast goes out.
Oh.
But if we know about it, we certainly can do that.
No, I can also understand if it's done after the person is buried, because my understanding is the flag goes back up after the burial.
Correct.
So it's just a point of information.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Anyone else from the public?
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Council President, thank you very much, and thank the council for the pedestrian lights on Prospect Street.
Sorry to interrupt, can we just have your name for the record?
Joanne Mitchell.
Thank you.
Thank you for the lights on Prospect Street for pedestrians. I've used them successfully several times. They seem to work most times, but I am sorry to report they do not work all the time. And on one of my crossings, actually two of my crossings, I was cheerfully waved to by various vehicles as I was standing in the middle of the street in the crosswalk with the lights flashing. The reason for my bringing it up is I wonder if we could supplement the small brown lights with the larger rectangular strobe lights that go below the pedestrian crossing sign. I realize that's an add to it, but I think some of the drivers on Prospect do not see the signs. In driver safety, we call that inattentional blindness, and there's a lot of it going around these days. So that would be my request, but thank you very much for the signs. They are a help. On another matter, I am very sorry to report that I'm still having issues with the color of the water in my house. And I read with interest to the reports about the water department, and I would like to know when we expect the first phase of the hydraulic study to be completed, and when we can expect a report.
Yeah, so the first phase of the study is completed. They completed all the hydrant flow testing a couple weeks ago now at this point. So we had a follow-up meeting with their GIS engineer last week to kind of go over some clarifying questions, models of pumps, the head pressure, some things like that to kind of tie everything together. So that should be finalized probably this week or next, and then we'll move into phase 2, which would be a public presentation, the full release of reports and recommendations. So we are going to start to head into phase 2 now. So it was really all the data collection, everything's pretty much together. They've built out their model, so now they're just finalizing it before everything's confirmed and ready to report out.
Has a root cause been established?
Not yet.
Okay. Do we have any reasonable theories that can be shared when the report is released?
Yeah, all that will be shared. One reasonable theory is, like as we've said, is just from the amount of work that was done to the system during the PFAS remediation, everything has changed, really. It was a shock to our system. Flow patterns are different, pressure is different, and we've made a lot of different upgrades with the infrastructure. So it's kind of all contributing. There's all different factors. We can't point to one right now.
Will there be a technical report released as well?
Sure, we could work
Very
on
good.
that.
Do we have a date?
No set date. We're hoping to kind of finalize that, like I said, within the next week or two for the public portion of that.
Very good. Thank you very much for the information.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Mary Mulvaney from East Prospect Street here in Waldwick. Very quick question, but it's water related. Several months ago, I received a letter from the town saying that they were going to be also testing the lead piping in the pipes that went down, at least for, I read it so long ago, I don't remember all of it, but it was like for houses that were built before 1965. My question is this going to be done, or are we waiting for everything else to be done first? Because there's lots of, well, there's things in my yard I need to do, but I'm not going to put in a new wall and then have it all ripped out if pipes have to be redone. So I was looking for a kind of a calendar schedule on when that work was going to happen.
You can.
So it's a lead service line replacement, if you want to jump in, please.
What street, I'm sorry.
Right on East Prospect, yeah.
So that work is ongoing, they've been doing it.
Oh, they've been doing it?
So it's
Oh.
called dig and determine, so they will go, they're checking the service lines in the curb boxes to check that connection. So it's really to check the service line in from the street, the main, to the curb box, and then the curb box into the actual house. That's what they're checking, so they check at the curb box, check that connection, see if it's galvanized or a lead line going into the home. If it's from the main to the curb box, that's us to replace, so if
Right.
that's found to be lead, we have to replace that. From the curb box into the house, the service line, that would be on the homeowner to replace.
At the curb,
Right.
from the curb into the house?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So we have our piece, and then the homeowner has the
Right,
other
but
piece.
how, are they going to go, do they have to dig in to find out what's going on?
So for the check, it's really just in the right-of-way, that.
In the main line,
Yeah, that
down the
strip.
street.
Yep.
Okay.
If it's found that you have a lead service line or galvanized going into your home, the recommendation is to replace it, but we would notify you that, and then that would be your responsibility to do. It does require digging up, a pretty significant trench into your house, if you go that route.
Okay, fine. The other, okay, are there any grants coming down? I'm assuming there's none with the way the state budget is right now, but I'm assuming there's a zip. But anything coming down from the state to help homeowners with this?
For this,
if it has to
for the
happen?
lead service
If it
line
ha-
replacements, no, not that I'm aware of, for homeowner assistance.
But it is state mandated, correct?
Correct.
So it's another unfunded mandate? Okay.
Correct.
God, love it, okay.
For the borough.
I don't think that the
For the borough
resident
side,
has
it's
to.
mandated.
It's kind of their
Right.
choice. The borough has to replace at
Right.
the main, on our side of it.
Oh, okay,
Exactly.
We have to notify you.
Yeah, the borough side
lovely.
has to be changed.
Right.
The homeowner side, it's a notification process. So
oh, so if you
we'll
fix,
change our side of it,
ah,
is the borough's fee.
so if the
then
lead is
yours
fixed there,
If
then
yours
I
is
would
galvanized.
assume
Sometimes they are and
it'll
sometimes
clear
they're
out eventually?
not. Well,
Yeah.
galvanized and lead is in the same boat. So if your service line from the curb box into your home is galvanized or lead, that's something you would have to look into replacing. So
Okay,
the
yeah,
borough's
that's what I
replacing up to
figured.
that point. Most houses in the town are galvanized.
Okay, do you have any idea what the schedule is for them to get?
So they did head into this part of town along East Prospect.
They did all the other side?
Fairly recently. They haven't done anything.
No,
It's-
they marked out, right, on Wyckoff Ave? Is a mark out? They just marked them out. They haven't just started.
Yeah, I don't think they've started digging over there, but they did do some along Prospect here. I could check in. We could talk after real quick if you want.
I'd love that, because I've left 3 messages and nobody's gotten back to me, so that's
Sure.
the main point. But thank you.
I have a follow, sorry, Catherine Hartman. I just have a follow-up about the lead line stuff. Is there any estimate on number of houses, properties that might be affected by this?
Not right now off the top of my head. We can kind of get a rough estimate just based on the year they were built.
Okay.
And we know anything after, the 1965 date will not
Right.
have it because they stopped utilizing that, but
And if somebody moved into their house within the last 10 years, would that have been part of their inspection process?
no, and that's something that's being talked about.
Okay.
Having that as, part of the CO process.
Okay, that's really interesting. But that's like I'm sure that's a statewide, countrywide situation. and then I did remember my question about the grants. When we signed up with this new agency, did they sort of say, so we're paying them, what, $30,000, $35,000, $30,000? You know, are they saying, we will get you this $30,000 back? Are they, you know?
That's what we're hoping to hear when they come present. We
Okay.
really want to push them. I mean, I think all of us really want to push them to get maximum return on that
Sure.
investment. And not only look at, you know, they'll have their tried and true, they apply for these 10 or 15 grants every year. We really want to push them to go outside of that box. And I think we're going to be annoying, hopefully, to them, and we'll get more back, but we'll hear more when they come and present. And I think that's an opportunity for you to also come and ask
yeah.
questions and be part of that conversation.
I mean, I think, Mary, that'd be a great question for them about like, hey, homeowners could use help with lead line replacement. And then that was the end of that thought process. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else from the public? I hear none. Can I have a motion for adjournment? Mike Ritchie and Joe Martinello.
Mr. Brennick?
Yeah.
Ms. Sarah Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Marnello?
Yes.
Mr. Ramundo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.